Welcome to Movie Speeching. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take good care. The Fifth Element is the name of the movie. Please like and subscribe to get every update. The year is 1914, and Professor Packley and his student, Billy Masterson, are investigating the ruins of an Egyptian temple. Packley is about to discover an ancient prophecy and explain the writings on the wall. It talks about a great evil that will happen 5,000 years from now, released from a black hole and causing chaos and death. The only thing that can stop him is a weapon composed of 4 elements: water, fire, earth, and air, and a fifth element, a perfect being. Packley thinks the fifth factor is the key, but he can't understand it. At that moment, a priest of the secret organization approached the two men and congratulated them on their success with poisoned water. Packley threw away the water and asked them to drink wine instead. At that moment, a giant ship landed at the top of the pyramid. The priest was terrified and gasped when he realized they were there. Huge robot-like creatures emerged from the ship and approached the men. The priest pleads with them, telling them that Packley is about to find out everything, but he arrived just in time. The alien race, known as the Mondashans, revealed that the priest was their human contact from Earth and told him that they must retrieve the stones and the fifth element because war was on. Comes and it is no longer safe on Earth. The leader takes the key and opens the walls. The absurd incident caused Packley to faint, while the priest could only watch as the Mondashans took away the 4 stones and the coffin containing the fifth element. Billy regains his composure and shoots the aliens, thinking they killed Packley. The priest tried to stop him, but it was too late. As the wall surrounds Mondoshawan's leader, the alien gives the priest the key and his final mission. As the ship left, the priest promised to pass on knowledge until they returned. 300 years have passed, and it is now the year 2263 on Earth, the year of prophecy. The great evil appeared like a giant fireball towards the blue planet. A military spacecraft goes directly to the president to observe the threat. As they were about to shoot the fireball, a priest named Vito Cornelius from the secret organization intervened. He asserts that there is no point in shooting down the threat and that the only thing that can save humanity is found in the great prophecy of the fourth and fifth elements. The president rejected his theory and went ahead with the shooting. The fireball absorbed the missiles and threw them back at the ship, destroying it instantly. Back on Earth, Corbin Dallas is a divorced veteran who works as a taxi driver and lives in a cramped apartment with his cat. His close friend, Finger, calls him and they plan to meet tonight. Corbin recounts his typical day, apprehending the attacker and catching a taxi for his first trip of the day. Returning to the president's headquarters, Cornelius explains his theory in detail and convinces the president to grant the Mondashans, who are transporting the elements, access to their territory. On their way to Earth, the Mondashans are attacked by a group of rogue aliens called the Mangalores and take the box containing the elements. The Mangalores contact their human mastermind, Jean-Baptiste Emmanuel Zorg, who works for the Great Evil, and they agree to meet at his factory. The government visits the crash site and manages to recover a surviving hand from the Mondashans and bring it to their research laboratory. In the recovery chamber, scientists recreate the hand's DNA to bring it back to life. After a quick reconstruction, the room revealed a naked woman lying on a table. The woman woke up and was shocked to find herself trapped inside a glass room. She shouted in an ancient language. One of the generals approached her and knocked on the window, taunting her. The woman slammed her hand through the window, knocking out the general and taking his multifunction card. Alarm bells begin to sound and she finds herself trapped in her room. Looking for the only way out, she broke through the wall and escaped through the ventilation system. She quickly found herself on top of the building and jumped to escape the police. She landed directly on Corbin's flying taxi. Corbin observed his impromptu passenger and immediately felt attracted and curious by her. Feeling her hurt, he decides to protect her from the police who are chasing her. They ran across the street, followed by 3 police cars. Corbin took a sharp turn and led them through a seedy part of town, losing a car to a delivery truck. They returned to the main street and a bunch of police cars shot at them. Corbin took them to the innermost streets and through the fog, disappeared from police radar. The woman told him to take her to a priest named Vito Cornelius, and he was able to track down her apartment. Cornelius sees the elemental mark on her arm and faints when he realizes she is the fifth element. Not wanting to waste time, he reunites with his assistant, David, and they prepare to meet the fifth element. Meanwhile, Corbin glanced at the sleeping woman and kissed her, only to be greeted with his gun. He apologizes, reassures her, and learns that her name is Lilu. Cornelius and David arrive to give him the key to the tomb and get Corbin out. He returned to his apartment and called Finger, apologizing for not organizing their meeting and telling him about Lilu. Meanwhile, Lilu learns 5,000 years of history from Cornelius's computer and tells him that the stones were stolen, but she knows exactly where they are. At the same time, Zorg finds the Mangalores and their leader, Agnot. Zorg exchanges the stones for new weapons, but when Agnot replaces the box, it is empty. Cornelius then learned that the Mondashans had given the stones to someone they could trust and that it was Lilu's duty to contact that person. They track this person to a hotel called Floston Paradise on the planet Floston. Suddenly there is a knock at the door and a group of men appear and take Cornelius to Zorg. He threatened the priest to tell him where the stones were, but he did not yield. While explaining his project to Cornet, he choked on a piece of cherry and Cornet saved him. Zorg spared his life and let him go and ordered his minions to find the stones. His men intercept a meeting with the president and learn that the Mondashans have given the stones to a diva named Plavalagina, who was to perform at a charity ball in Floston Paradise. The president agrees and asks the military to hire their best agent, who happens to be Corbin Dallas. Soldiers followed Corbin to his apartment. He discovered that the army had held a lottery for him to win 2 tickets to Floston Paradise so he could sneak in and collect the stones discreetly. Just then, Lilu appears outside his door and Corbin convinces the soldiers to hide in his refrigerator by lying that Lilu is the girlfriend he plans to marry but hates the military. He lets Lilu in and Cornelius threatens him with a gun and demands a ticket. At that point, police stormed the building looking for Corbin. He hid Lilu and the priest in his apartment and the police arrested the wrong person. Mangalores arrived and stopped the arrest, snatching the body bag, not knowing that he had also arrested the wrong person. When the coast is clear, Corbin brings Lilu and Cornelius out of hiding. The priest knocked him unconscious for a moment and stole the ticket. When Corbin regained consciousness, he accepted the mission. Lilu and Cornelius arrive at the airport with David, who has obtained a fake passport. As they were about to check in, Corbin arrived and took David's place. David ran to Cornelius and told him what had happened. The priest asks him to bring the key to prepare the temple while he pursues the other 2. Mangalores arrives, disguised as Corbin and Lilu, but they are quickly captured by security. Corbin was then taken by a flight attendant to meet the flamboyant radio talk show host, Ruby Road. Cornelius sneaked into the restricted area and boarded the plane. Meanwhile, Zorg is called by Mr. Shadow, the dark entity that exists within the Great Evil.mr. Shadow threatens Zorg to take the stones back or else. On planet Floston, the rocket plane arrives at the hotel. Corbin wakes up and finds Lilu missing. Lilu has found Plavalagina. Diva senses Lilu hiding in the hallway and sends one of her assistants. The assistant told Lilu to meet Plavalagina after the concert. Corbin, on the other hand, is dragged along by Ruby, who takes him on a tour of the hotel and then the opera house as her live radio show continues. The concert begins with the appearance of Zorg. The curtains reveal that Plavalagina is a blue-skinned alien humanoid opera singer. While she sang her song, Mangalores broke into the diva's room and took away the box. Lilu steps in and single-handedly takes down Mangalore's group using the martial arts skills she learned through Cornelius's computer. She took out the remaining bully just as the diva finished her song. Lilu takes the box back and is stopped at the door by Zorg and his gun. He demands the stones and Lilu throws the box at him and jumps into a nearby vent. Zorg fires a series of bullets into the vent. Meanwhile, Mangalores has taken over the entire hotel and is holding several guests hostage. One of them shoots Plavalagina and she collapses in the arms of Corbin, who then hides her under a chair. Now, with the stones in hand, Zorg placed a bomb in the room and immediately left. Back at the opera house, Ruby finds herself alone with Corbin and the diva. While dying, Plavalagina told Corbin to help Lilu save humanity and revealed that the elemental stones were actually stored inside her. This greatly disappointed Zorg as he realized the box was empty and he returned to Floston Paradise. Corbin knocks out Mangalore and makes Ruby frantically point her gun at the alien's head. He then opened the diva's wound and retrieved the 4 stones. He wrapped them in his coat and gave it to Ruby, asking her to keep it with her. As the Mangalores surrounded the area, Corbin took a gun and killed several members of the crew. The aliens retaliate with missiles and force him to hide behind a bar. Ruby crawled and escaped to one of the balconies. The Mangalores now trapped Corbin as they pulled him out of the rubble with his hands raised in the air. Corbin sees Ruby on the balcony and signals her to move aside. One of the aliens orders him down and he jumps onto a wooden plank, sending the alien's head through Ruby's balcony. Ruby restrains him and the alien panics, firing guns at his crew. Corbin takes his gun and shoots at the remaining aliens. As more of them began to infiltrate the room, Corbin picked Ruby up and threw a grenade at them. Under fire, they hid under the table and survived the explosion. They head to the control room, where the remaining Mangalores are holding Cornelius and several others hostage. As they eliminate some of the alien crew, Corbin identifies their leader and plans to kill him, stating that Mangalore will not fight if their leader is killed. At that time, the leader asked the humans to send someone to negotiate. Corbin volunteered and quickly killed the leader with a single blow. When the hotel is back under human control, Corbin finds Lilu unconscious in the Diva's room. Cornelius and Ruby follow him and discover the bomb. The alarm sounded and guests were evacuated immediately. The group heads towards the docks just as Zorg returns to his hotel room. They find Zorg's ship and board it. Back in the hotel room, Zorg deactivates the bomb. Unbeknownst to him, the last surviving Mangalore activated his own bomb in revenge and it exploded, killing Zorg instantly. Corbin, Lilu, Cornelius, and Ruby escaped safely via the stolen ship. On the way to Egypt, Lilu realized and told Corbin about the strangeness of humans. The two share an intimate moment and Corbin can't help but feel more attracted to her. Meanwhile, the fireball has increased in speed and is heading towards Earth at a dangerous speed. The president called Corbin and gave him an ultimatum. They have about 2 hours left before humanity is wiped out. Back on the ship, Lilu discovers the violent history of human wars. She was disgusted, disappointed, and shocked to learn that she was saving a race that caused so much violence. The group lands in the desert and are greeted by David, who takes them to the heart of the temple. Corbin picked up Lilu and placed her on the center table. With little time left, the group tries to find a way to activate the weapon. They link the stones to their respective locations, but don't know how to open them. Corbin tries to wake Lilu and ask her how to open the stones, but she can only give a cryptic message in her dazed state. The wind blows. The fire is burning. Rain falls. There were only 3 minutes left before destruction and David stood before his stone in despair. He sighed and suddenly his stone moved. The group gathered and Corbin understood that they had to imitate the elements. He blew into the box and a shiny golden stone appeared. David ran to the dirt bucket and poured sand into it, revealing the dirty stone. Cornelius then wiped his forehead and opened the water stone with his sweat. They gathered around the last box. Corbin took the last piece out of his matchbox. He burned the box and revealed the flint. He returned to Lilu and woke her up. He begged Lilu to save them, but she said there was no point in saving this world with no purpose to live for. Corbin breaks down and tells him that there are things worth saving, such as love. He needs Lilu to save them because he needs her. In his final moments, Corbin declares his love for her and kisses her. Just as the fireball was about to strike Earth, 4 beams of light shot out from the stone and hit Lilu, activating the ultimate weapon. A blinding beam of light emitted from Lilu's body, blocking the path of the fireball. Corbin clung tightly to his body as he felt an immense force surrounding him. The light went out after a few seconds and it was confirmed. The fireball was destroyed and humanity was saved. Corbin cradled the exhausted Lilu in his arms and they were welcomed to Earth as heroes. The president tries to visit them, but scientists claim they are not ready. Inside the recovery room, Corbin and Lilu kiss passionately and make love. Thank you for watching. See you on the next video.